Today I'm going to keep on working on the Ford Jayco, the 1995 Ford Jayco RV that I bought. This guy right here. I'm going to actually start by taking out one of the battery holders that is extremely rusty and clean it up, then put it back in so that I can install two batteries, the auxiliary battery and the main battery to start the car. As you can see here, this battery holder is really rusty, so I'm going to take those 4 screws out and work on this a little bit with a grinder, get it down to some bare metal, and maybe paint it so that it gets a little bit of protection, and put it back in. I'm going to clean a lot of this engine bay, just because it's really dusty and old. Just want to have it a little bit cleaner, and I want to also install a new battery here. These are the 2 batteries. This is a Group 50 battery, which I bought from O'Reilly's, and this is a Group 65 battery that I bought from Costco. I'm also going to change the air filter. I got the new air filter over there. Okay, so here's what I've done so far. I went ahead and I couldn't take off this plate because that screw right there was not participating. These 3 were coming out really easily. These 3, 1, 2, 3, but that one right there just refused, and I kind of rounded it. So I went to plan B, which was I used one of these rust fix cans, which I've used before in another car, and it works well. It converts rust to a black primer. So I went to town with this plate. So as you can see, it turned the rust black. So I'm just gonna wait until that dries before I add another layer on top of black paint, and to finish it off. And since this is just an internal piece, I just wanted to prevent that ugly rust from spreading. So that's it. I'm sure the bottom of this is not well, but I'm not gonna go into crazy remodeling of a 1995 RV. So that's it. All right, so I'm working on the engine of the RV today. Basically, there is a huge rattling noise that's coming from the engine, and let me see if I can reproduce it right now. I think it's related to low fuel pressure or a vacuum line leak. So I'm gonna be taking apart a lot of stuff in there to see if I find something. But let's try to replicate it. Hear that? See if I can replicate that. Hear that? Clack, 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 clack. That side over there, so I'm hoping it's not. It could be the exhaust, and it could be a vacuum leak, or maybe a spark plug wire. So I don't know what I'm gonna be doing yet, but you can hear that if I accelerate slowly, you don't hear it. But if I do this, if I accelerate fast, or if I put load when I'm driving it, it's pretty loud. So we'll see what I find. Here's something I found after I took out the air filter. There's a nest of some sort down there. So I'm gonna vacuum all that stuff out, and then I'm gonna have to inspect all the wires and all the vacuum lines to see what's going on. Probably gonna want to change the fuel regulator, which is right there. Let me see if I can point at it. It is right here. It's this guy. That's the fuel regulator right there. I don't know how old that is, but It's known that these cars have issues with that guy. And if this vacuum line isn't working right, then that might also cause some of the problems that I'm seeing. So we'll see what I can do there. Okay, so check this out. I've been working pretty much all day trying to replace the spark plugs. So I finally got the spark plugs replaced, and now I'm working on the rotor. And I am hoping that this is the reason that I'm having such a hard time with this engine sounding right. It's really, there's a lot of deposit on these guys. So, and the spark plugs. Let me show you the spark plugs. When I took out the spark plugs, they were really full of gas. So maybe they weren't burning. If you see that, maybe they were burning too. They were not burning enough of the fuel, and that was causing a lot of detonation. So hopefully, by me changing the rotor and the distributor cap, I will be able to get this back up and running. So I went ahead and bought a, where is it? Oh, right here. Bought a new cap. It looks very nice and clean, new. So hopefully, between that and a new rotor, it's the new one. Come on. And the old one, really, let me see if I can get a picture of that. It's kind of worn out. Still, probably this is fine, but probably the cap definitely didn't look good. I'm also installing new wires. Started installing new wires, and I installed the iridium spark plugs. So if the spark was the issue with the noise, then and maybe the detonation, so then this should fix it. Okay, so here's where I'm at. After some more exploration, I've determined that the gasket for this exhaust manifold right here, it was leaking. So I sprayed some soap with a vacuum cleaner, pushing air up into the system, and I found leaks here, I found leaks over here, and all the way back over there. And what I ended up doing was I decided to check the bolts, and they were all pretty loose. So that's pretty good. Normally, I was afraid of working on these bolts because they usually get rusted out and they break as you try to untighten them. But all of mine came out super easy. That means that somebody was already here and did this. And this is the gasket that was put in there. So you can see that is cracked right there. And see that crack right there. And it's not looking pretty good. So what I ended up doing was I ordered a copper gasket so that I can go ahead and replace it with something better. I also found some leaks down here, so I found this flange right here. I'm gonna take that apart and use some copper sealant to seal it better. Alright, just finished changing the gasket, and I have no water pump, so I have to keep this short, but look. Still leaking over here, but I gotta fix that one. Those bolts are really hard to get out. These were a lot easier.